Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with another live stream. It is Monday, the 18th of September, 7:30 p.m. And today, as we always do, we're going to go through some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press today. Some stories that have been sent to me also by viewers. So thanks for the contribution there, sending those stories through. Second half of the video, we'll go into the chat section. Check out what's happening there on my screen in the chat section. And let's not forget some of the comments that have been left on videos recently too. We will have a look at some of those. Now, straight into the news I will go. And the first piece of news here, the Madrid president, Ms. Ayuso, is making her voice heard, especially about this Catalonian issue. And as we can read here, Isabel Díaz Ayuso expresses her intention to put an end to the business of independence by turning off the tap. Madrid President Isabel Díaz Ayuso attended the closing ceremony of the first Madrid Youth Academy, organised by the new generations of the Madrid People's Party on Sunday. She took advantage of the moment in her speech to address the acting Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez, urging him to stand in the elections and be honest about his pacts with the pro-independence parties Junts and ERC. In turn, she accused Sánchez of seeking territorial tension, a term that Ayuso considers a great manipulation that only serves to promote the business of independence. Territorial tension means giving me more money, and my answer is no. We have been paying for this business for too long. We have been paying for this business for too long, and it has not worked. We want to put an end to the business of independence, so we'll turn off the tap, she said. So Ms. Ayuso, the Madrid president, if you're not familiar with Ms. Ayuso, she likes to stand up to acting Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez. Some people say that she will one day be a leader of the Partido Popular at a national level, perhaps even go on to become Spain's first female president of the government or prime minister to the rest of us. So we'll see, but some strong words there, and saying that she would turn off the tap, or the tap needs to be turned off for this Catalonian independence business, as she calls it. Second piece of news, this one here. And Europe tries to maneuver in the face of a flood of cheap Chinese electric cars. An interview in the British media with the spokesman for the Chinese Communist Party illustrates very well the new front that is opening up between Europe and the Asian giant over the automobile sector. The UK is not a competitor for China. What are the two countries competing on? China is the biggest car producer in the world and the biggest exporter of electric vehicles, and will be the world leader. Is the UK a competitor? No, said Victor Galt this week. Replace in the previous paragraph UK with EU. It broadly remains valid. China has managed to position itself far ahead as the main player in the electric car race, but Europe does want to compete with China. Electric cars are key to Europe's energy transition. The International Energy Agency speaks of an explosive growth of electric cars in the coming years. And this speech made the other day by European President Ursula von der Leyen, where she said that Chinese cars flooding the market, watch out, what are our car manufacturers in the European Union going to do faced with such stiff competition from the Chinese? And I personally know at least 2 or 3 people that are waiting for these Chinese cars before they buy an electric vehicle, not waiting for the German models to come out, or the French models to come out, or even the Spanish models from the Seat factory to come out. They're looking to get one of these Chinese electric vehicles, which, as we saw, and I'll say it again, flooding markets around the world, and apparently cheap. And that's been one of the big issues with electric cars up until now. They have not been cheap, but they are changing. Next piece of news here, and this article sent in by Mike. Home sales in Spain plummeted by almost a fifth year on year in July, report shows. The number of home sales in July in Spain fell by 18.4% compared to the same month in 2022. Data collected from the country's notaries has shown. The number of mortgages taken out to buy property also fell sharply by 25.7% in the same month, and the average price per square metre of property sold across the country fell by 4.6% in July compared to the same month a year ago. Prices of flats sold fell by 3% and houses by 7%. The average cost per square metre of property recorded in July was €1,617 per square metre. Every region saw a drop in the number of home sales in July, with Andalusia among those falling the most at 21.5%. In terms of the drop in prices per square metre, despite the overall fall, 6 regions did see an increase, topped by Balearics at 18.2%, and Andalusia square metre prices dropped 0.6%. So there we go. Home sales plummeting in Spain. People obviously not taking out mortgages at the moment, worried about the increasing interest rates, and perhaps deciding to hold off just a little bit before they invest in the property market and try to get on the property market, which, as we know, every year gets more and more difficult, or at least that's what people complain about. But some people will tell you that the argument is that maybe young people spend their money all too freely and are not used to saving, which is why they might not be able to get on the property ladder. But that's a debate for another day. Another piece of news here, and some more bad weather on the way in Spain, and a new Dana will bring heavy and persistent rain this week, especially in the east, and an almost autumnal atmosphere. The arrival of an isolated depression at high levels, aka Dana, this last week of summer, the second this September, will leave heavy and persistent rains more intense in the east of the country and the Balearic Islands, which may be accompanied by storms and cool temperatures for this time of year, favouring an almost autumnal atmosphere. This Monday will still be a generally calm day, with rain in the west of the peninsula in the early hours, but which will gradually subside with temperatures that will be somewhat lower, and said Rubén del Campo, spokesman for the State Meteorological Agency, who has advanced for Tuesday the arrival of a Dana to the east and southeast of Spain mainland, or Spanish mainland. So there we go. Rain for the east apparently, and that means the Mediterranean coast, I presume, Catalonia, the Valencian community, and the Balearic Islands, as we saw. So get ready for that, because as we know, these Danas can bring some pretty heavy rain. So be prepared. And the final piece of news, this one sent through by Ian today, and apparently a British man has been banned from EasyJet for joining the Mile High Club. The British tourist arrested at Ibiza airport for engaging in sexual activity on board an EasyJet flight from Luton has been banned from flying with the airline again and had to spend hundreds of pounds on a new flight home. The 23-year-old, who was flying to the island with a group of friends to celebrate his birthday, was caught when a flight attendant opened the toilet door as passengers filmed. He has now said the woman he was with was a stranger he met while boarding the plane, and claims sex in the air was her idea. He says he went along with it as he had been drinking since 10 a.m. So there we go. Interesting story there. A couple meet while waiting to board a plane, and then they get it on in the toilet on the flight to Ibiza, which is around 2.5 hours, I suppose, from Luton. So fairly quick action there. And as the man said, it wasn't his idea. He was forced into it or coerced into it by the woman. And of course, being found out because passengers said the toilet door's locked. It's been locked for a while now. We want to go. So the flight attendant opened the door, and wow. What came next, people were not expecting, I don't think, and lots of people got their phones out apparently and recorded the event, and this man subsequently banned from flying with EasyJet and having to find some pounds more to get back to Britain. So there we go, an interesting story, and thanks Ian for sending that one through, even though I did hear about this same story last week on the radio, but so I don't know whether it's fresh news or not, but an interesting story nonetheless. Now into the chat section I'm going to go now. Sorry, the chat section, no, the comment section I'm going to go now. Check out what is happening there. The first one here is from Riane, I think. Notice some houses have solar panels. I'm surprised more don't have them as Spain has plenty of sun. Obviously related to with the walking video that I did the other day, where I go for a walk around my neighborhood, and obviously people can see the types of houses that we have here, the types of gardens people have and the like, and also noticing that there are some solar panels on people's roofs, but not a lot. And basically the reason for that is, if anybody's interested in the story, is that up until recently, I think 2018 in fact, Spain had a tax on the sun where it wasn't a good idea to put solar panels on your roof because you had to pay money to have them there. And that was the issue with putting solar panels up. The government at the time thought it was a good idea to impose that tax. Impuesto al Sol, it was called, scrapped in 2018, and since then there has been a boom in solar panels and lots of incentives around the country from governments, local governments especially, to put solar panels on your roof. And as I said here, perhaps where I live, if I look at the neighbours that I have, I would say that the majority of people that I have close by, if I have a look on the top of people's roofs and homes, you will see solar panels. So lots of people have put them on over the last few years, but up until then, prohibitive to put solar panels on your roof, and that's why not everybody has them on, even though Spain is a country with, as that commenter points out there, a country with a lot of sun. But people now taking advantage of that sun and getting some free electricity, I suppose, or if not every day, lots of days of the year when the sun does shine. Another comment here from Digger360. I think the Spanish government really meant to say we will pay all the costs for translators, etc. in Brussels if you lend us the money to pay for it. Yeah, a bit skeptical is that Digger there of the Spanish government's idea yesterday or the day before. I think they announced this, that they're willing to pay for these translation services or interpreter services in the European Union in order to get those three co-official languages here in Spain, Gallego, Basque and Catalan, into the European Union as official languages there as well. And Digger there saying that maybe, yeah, the money's already come from Europe, so we'll just give it back to you and make this happen, please. And some important Spanish people that have an international profile, Guardiola, the Manchester City manager, came out the other day also asking various prime ministers in the European Union to support the Catalonian idea. So we'll see how that one plays out, but apparently it's not easy to get official language status in the European Union, or at least that's what lots of people are saying. Another one here from Timothy on the same topic. As AI simultaneous translation and interpretation improves, it may well be possible to incorporate these languages into the EU system at very little cost. So there's the opposite side of the argument, that AI will make it cheaper and easier to incorporate these languages into the mix. And the problem that I see is not necessarily the cost of doing it, it's the European Union not wanting to open a can of worms with all of the other possible languages that could come in coming years if people request it, because as we know, there's lots of languages in the European Union apart from the official, however many there are, 27 or whatever the amount of official languages there are. Don't quote me on that figure, but to get more in there, a bit of an issue, especially with countries like France that have regional language issues, and other countries in the European Union in the same boat. Thanks for that. Another comment here, let me open this one up, from Juan. If Catalonia gains its independence, are they still citizens of the EU? Citizens of the UK lost their benefits in the EU. Shouldn't it be the same for Catalonia? Wouldn't they still have valid passports to travel to other parts of the world or even to enter Europe? Lots of implications to independence that many people haven't thought through. Be careful for what you ask for. It might come true. We pronounce onion the same as Aussies in the USA. The G sound can probably be traced back to the French word Oignon. I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, my French is not the best, so don't take my word for it. But yeah, I'm sure that they haven't thought everything through, especially when it comes to what they're going to do for passports and European Union recognition or even membership status. Not sure. Mr. Puigdemont, the former Catalonian president, is of course a member of the European Parliament, so he's sitting there at the moment. But if they do become independent, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think they're planning on using the Andorra way. And I think Andorra is part of the European Union, and that they just sit there in the Pyrenees, keep out of everyone's way. I think that's what Catalonia would also like to do. But again, don't quote me exactly on that because I haven't read the full document of that Catalonian independence proposal. But that viewer there, Juan, could be right, and maybe they haven't thought everything through. And with the pronunciation of the word onion, somebody pointed out yesterday that they heard a G in my pronunciation. Well, apparently it's in the US as well, so there we go. Another one here from Heidi. Tortilla española and paella are almost an institution, and God help you if you mess with them. Yes, exactly. Do not try and stick ingredients in a traditional Spanish tortilla, because people here will get offended, and they won't call it a Spanish omelette anymore. They'll call it something else, another type of omelette, because people are very traditional about food. They don't like to see things that they don't think should be in there. And as I mentioned yesterday with a paella that appeared on British television a few years ago, the chef decided to put paella, the chorizo, in the paella, and it didn't go down well with the traditionalists here in Spain, who only, as I said, think that these things should be made in the traditional way. And there was a Spanish chef who went to London, I think it was, last year, maybe the year before, going to so-called Spanish restaurants in the capital city, trying the cuisine, and I'm going to say that he was not impressed by what he saw, especially when he came across a paella wrap, somebody trying to put stuffed paella into a wrap, and he was not happy about that. And when he spoke to the person in charge of the restaurant or the chef, they said that, whoa, we need to be innovative here. We can't just sell a normal paella. We need to try and mix it up a little bit to get clientele in the door. And that was their excuse. But as I said, he was not impressed by what those Spanish restaurants in London were offering. So check those videos out on YouTube. The guy's name is Chicote, and he really is disappointed by what he eats. Another one here from CH. Stuart, I cannot always join you live, so I listen to the recording. Of late, I cannot see the live chat. Has something changed? Well, to be honest, CH, I don't think so. I think that the live chat, obviously, it's there during the live recording, and I think it should be there during the posted video that pops up afterwards. These videos go straight to YouTube. They sit there forever. And as far as I know, the live stream is present, or at least it is on the version that I get when I click on the video. I'm not sure if that's because I'm the administrator or whether there's something else going on, but I can see the live chat. So check your settings. It could be an issue there, but for me, not an issue. But thanks for pointing it out. And just it's always good to know if things are not going well with the channel, especially when it comes to the live chat replay, as they call it. And the final comment here from Ed. I tried to cook a tortilla catalana, but it kept trying to jump out of the pan. Ha ha ha. A bit of a joke here from Ed, trying to crack us all up here with the last comment with reference to the Catalonians wanting to jump out of the Spanish Union and go their own way, trying to cook that Catalan tortilla, refusing to stay in the pan. And yeah, funny. Now, we're going to go into the chat section now. Before I do that, I'm going to change the backdrop. So let me organize that. This one was sent in from Leah, and it's a place, I've got the name written here as well. It's a place called Porto Censo, and it's down there in Alicante, I believe, or maybe Valencia, not sure, close to Altea, I think it was. And as we can see, some boats in the harbour and those nice mountains or hills in the background, which are characteristic of that part of Spain. So thanks, Leah, for sending this one through. Great shot. I'm also going to put the like icon on the screen. If you haven't hit the like icon yet, please do so. We're up to 52, 53 now. So if you hit the like icon that you'll find below the video, the like button, we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally. And also when it comes to sending me stuff, news articles, photos, whatever you've got, this is the email address that I have on the screen here at the moment, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Lots of emails coming through on a daily basis. I try to get through them, but it's not easy. But send them through. And if you've got a nice shot like this one here that Leah has provided today, or some of the articles that we saw from Mike and Ian, please, that is the email address, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Now, I'm going to go into the chat section. Let me open it up here. Scroll to the top. And the first person that I can see in the chat today is Sani, coming in from Basingstoke. Good to see you, Sani, again today. I hope you are well. Gillian coming in from Torrevieja, driving back to the UK shortly and have been instructed by our 8-year-old granddaughter to bring some Mercadona tortilla with onions, as English ones taste horrible. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what's going on there, why the quality aspect of that Spanish food in the UK or London in particular, as I mentioned with that chef that went there to try the food, is so bad. I don't know what the problem is. Can you not get your hands on good ingredients there? The supermarket's just putting out anything and whacking the name Spain or Spanish on the label to bring customers in. Not sure, but granddaughter instructing there, grandma and granddad to bring back some of that Mercadona tortilla. There we go. Andrew coming in also from London, southeast. Huge thunderstorm last night, 20 degrees sunshine today. The weather not bad. Can't complain about that. 20 degrees in the sunshine for that part of the world. Pauline coming in too from a warm Rojales in the Valencian community. Richard coming in from North Yorkshire. Cold and wet there at the moment. Just switched on the heating tonight. Hopefully we won't need to put the heating on here for at least another couple of months. That's what I'm hoping for, given the gas prices at the moment. So we'll see. We will see. John also coming in. Hope your day is going well. All the best. Saying hello to everyone. Hello, John. Hope you're well too. Amanda's coming in from Shropshire. Chilly there. Shropshire, I think, is on the border with Wales. Am I right or wrong? Correct me if I am not. Leah, I think the author of the photo today. Greetings from a rainy and cool North Norfolk there in England. There we go. I think this is Leah's photo, I believe. So good photo, Leah. Great work. Janet coming in from Oxford, recently back from Cornwall. Back in the hometown of Oxford there. Mugger coming in. Like number 12 was Mugger today. We're up to like number 69, so you might be like number 70 if you hit that like button now. Thanks, Mugger, for hitting the like button. Thank you very much. Alan, Spanish Alan coming in. Hola, mis amigos, in Argos de la Frontera today for lunch. There we go. Thanks, Alan. Hope you enjoyed your lunch there. Theo Real, the Royal City viewer, Jose Antonio coming in. Can't join the live for a while. So just leaving it there that can't be present tonight, Jose Antonio, for a while. Jonathan coming in from New York, I believe still. Looking for a place to head to, I imagine. What else we got going on here in the chat? Amanda saying not looking good for Brand. I imagine you're talking about Russell Brand there, the now YouTuber, formerly actor, sometimes comedian, I think, but he's got a fairly popular YouTube channel, has Russell Brand, and from what I'm reading in the papers, he, of course, is saying that it's all lies. I saw a video that he posted the other day, but yeah, in hot water. Ross coming in from Valencia, 27 degrees Celsius there, calm and gorgeous. Ross obviously enjoying life outside the US in Valencia. It's better than a flood of expensive Chinese cars. What's that? Electric Chinese cars or just normal Chinese cars? No, the Chinese flooding the electric car market, apparently. I'm not in the market for an electric car yet, but I say yet because the way we're heading, I most likely will be in a few years' time. But currently, no. Although my friend just down the road here he's just waiting for the opportunity to buy one of these electric Chinese cars. Bronny coming in from Wales, South Wales. Lots of rain forecast. Enjoying the live stream. Best wishes, Bronny. Well, you got to keep everything green there, Bronny. Everything's got to be green in Wales. That nice environment that you have there needs the rain. And I must say that after a couple of weeks' rain here, it's incredible how things change. We've got even greenery back in the parks at the moment, which hasn't been around for a while. Jeff coming in also from a cloudy Vigo. Please remove all your mentions of Vigo. No one else no one else needs to know about this place. I'll pay €20. There we go. I'll remove those videos. It'll probably cost you more than 20, Jeff, considering that was a reasonably popular video, the one I did about Vigo and Pontevedra. Can't complain. So if you increase the price, I could consider taking it down and not mentioning Vigo again. Andrew, yes, drinks at the Patador with spectacular views. There we go, out and about today. Julian coming in from an autumn-feeling soil hull, I think that is, or Solihull. Hardtop going on to convertible car and wooden garden furniture, and our neighbours have packed up the swimming pool over wintering in their shed. There we go. Everyone getting their homes ready for the colder months of the year, which are just around the corner. Andrew saying that problem with the electric vehicle, Chinese or other, they are not the future. They are not practical. There we go. Andrew, not a fan of the EV. The weather update was dated the 18th of September 2021. It could have been a mistake there. I'll go back and change it, but you know that it is the 18th of September 2023. Not sure what went wrong there, but I might have got the date mixed up. The country need rains. Absolutely it does, Jonathan. Absolutely it does. Jose Antonio is saying that it's good that the British have the opportunity to go out and do things they don't dare to do there. There we go. Well, I imagine that they do dare to do those things there, but that just happens when they get on planes as well, or at least it did for this young gentleman and his friend that he met an hour before waiting to hop on the plane. I'm not sure how that plays out. What do you give a look or something? What do you do? Not sure. Not sure. Erica coming in from Terrassa, hoping everyone is fine. Jimmy Bones, good evening from Brighton and Hove, East Sussex. It's been a windy and rainy day for us. Brought some trees and broke people's cars. There we go. Strong winds there. Got to be careful parking your car close to trees nowadays. That's for sure. That's for sure. What else? Let's have a look. Sir Day, was he waived from that consent needed by Spanish law? Not sure. I presume it was consensual what took place in the plane's toilets. I presume it was. What else we got going on here? Ken coming in from Greater Manchester on his way to Bilbao, and then the play that I'll leave at the end of the week. Good luck with the trip, Ken, getting out of Manchester, heading down to rainy Spain, or at least it will be most likely when you arrive. It could clear up. Was the woman banned as well? Didn't say anything about that in the article, so I'm presuming that the answer is no. That is what I am presuming here, that she was not banned, only him. Or at least that's what the article said. There could be another story to this, don't know. Jimmy coming in. I think we just saw that, did we not? Or was that somebody else who was from Brighton and Hove? Yeah, same person. Let's have a look here quickly. What else we got going on? Rory coming in from Mallorca, Palma, covered in mud rain. There we go. Alex from the channel Mallorca Under the Sun also discovering the delights of my new air fryer, which is doing dinner. Yeah, a lot of people jumping on the air fryers nowadays, right? Lots of people jumping on the air fryers, very popular in lots of people's kitchens. In fact, there's an air fryer revolution going on. People rave about the air fryers, and Alex here also. Or at least he'll give us an update on that next time, how it went. Madrid correspondent, formerly Florida correspondent, Dave, not David, that's his Spanish name, Dave coming in, reporting in from one of the coolest cities in Spain. Where are you, Dave? Let us know. One of the coolest cities in Spain? Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Let us know. Jules coming in from Silbo Gomero. I want Silbo Gomero as an EU official language. Just discussions in whistles could be quite the thing. There we go. That's that communication form they have down there in some parts of the Canaries. Absolutely. What else? Let's have a look. Let's have a look here quickly. 1, 2, 3. Sean away. Evening all from County Waterford, Ireland. I think when it comes to non-Spanish chefs cooking paella, we should start by ensuring they can pronounce it first. Drives me crazy to hear paella. Yeah, it's all about the accent, I suppose. Paella. Este es paella. El otro es pael. So, that's it. Dave coming in from the UK, I imagine, here. Yep, enduring 90 days there until Dave can return to Barcelona in December. Yeah, the old 90-day rule. Not popular is the 90-day rule, I will say. Call me closed-minded, says Flutter Girl, but I wouldn't try a paella wrap. Not for me. No, neither would I, but I've seen paella sandwiches. I think Tesco's was selling paella sandwiches there for a while, paella wraps. Some of the things they do to the tortillas could also be considered a crime. And once you move away from that traditional way of serving the food, when you order a Spanish omelette or the tortilla española, you want to see what you're expecting. And if it comes out in a wrap or in a sandwich or something like that, although here you can get bocadillo de tortilla. I mean, that's a fairly common thing as well. But when you order a pincho de tortilla, you want your tortilla to look exactly how you are expecting it to look. And that's one of the things. Live chat's usually there, but occasionally it isn't, which is disappointing. Yeah, it's probably a YouTube bug. It's a very complex platform, YouTube. Lots of things going on behind the scenes. And sometimes I even have trouble, uploading videos, and you get errors all the time. So I imagine that's one of the issues, that there are a little bit buggy still, maybe. Don't know. But I would say. Pauline's saying that with 80% of EV batteries manufactured in China, so it's not surprising. They're making vehicles as well. Funky Cat looks a great design, where other brands just electrifying present models. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really up to speed on the Chinese electric vehicle revolution, but I'll look into it. But yeah, no surprise. The Chinese are making solar panels, they're making batteries, they're making cars. They're really taking advantage of European countries and other countries around the world that are moving towards this ecological transition. In fact, they're in the best position, I would say, because they've got plenty of things to sell consumers that are looking to change and become green. Fantastic finish to La Vuelta, says Dave here in Madrid. A young man from the USA was the overall winner. There we go. Remember what happened the last time that a young man from the USA won the Tour de France? It didn't end well for him, all the competition. So hopefully this guy's different. Let's hope. Bronny likes the photo that we've got here from Leah. Alan talking about gin. Seagram's vodka won many taste tests at my former restaurant bar. I think it's available in España. Same name, different companies. There we go. I always thought Seagram's was a gin company. Didn't know they ventured into the vodka world as well. What else we got going on? Let's have a look. 123 saying that separatists need to raise. They will have to join the queue for EU membership. They will not automatically become members. Yeah, don't know. Again, it's one of those questions that I'm sure that nobody's answered. What else? Welsh Todo, Catalan independence would mean they exit the EU as they would exist as a new entity and would have to apply to join, unlikely to qualify. Same for Scotland. What currency and valuation? Lots of questions being posed, but again, I'm sure they've thought of these questions, but I don't know whether they have answers to them. Super chat here from NVN. Thank you very much for that. €5. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Helping the channel, helping keep the channel afloat, of course. Thanks for that. Yes, it's on the Welsh border. I thought so, Amanda, that Shropshire was on the Welsh border because I saw it in a video the other day. They actually sat in Shropshire coming out of Wales. So that's how I know that. Rose has just made a huge tortilla with potato, onions, peppers and courgettes. Not traditional, but yum. There we go. Not traditional, of course, but whatever you like to put in it, I imagine. Just don't give it to a Spanish person. They might not agree with the choices there, but yeah, why not? Mix it up. Jonathan's heading to Uruguay at the end of the month, heading back to the southern American country, Uruguay. One of the countries down there where I think cannabis is legal. I think the only country in South America where it is legal, I think. Andrew's saying, how about another Menu dia vid? Yeah, would love to, Andrew, but just don't have the time at the moment. I'm working on something else, so I'm a bit pushed for time. But if I can get one out by the end of the month, I'll try. I'll try to get one out by the end of the month. Different Gear TV saying that I imagine if Greggs in the UK launch a paella pastry, like a sausage roll but with a paella filling. You know, don't put ideas into people's heads. What else we got going on here? Leah envies Jonathan. Lived in Montevideo for 8 years and loved it down there, says Leah. So there we go. Montevideo down there in Uruguay. Alan coming in from a windy, cooler southeast London, hoping we are well. And Mia also. Yeah, I think Mia's okay. I think she's just sitting down here by my side. Mia. Yep, there she is, just down here. What else we got going on here? Heavy yellow warning for heavy rains on Wednesday in Catalonia, says Erica, or at least Erica's part of Catalonia. Hope something falls there because you guys need the rain, of course, as we know. John is in the Arquellas area of Madrid today. Nice cool day if you ask me. I think you probably mean Argüelles, I think, which is the continuation of the Gran Via. If you take the Gran Via past Plaza de España, head up towards Moncloa, you'll come to Argüelles, which is a nice area. A very nice area indeed. Recommended if you are visiting the country. Lots of shops, lots of nice restaurants and bars and things like that in Argüelles. Thanks, John. John also sent me a photo through today, which will make the backdrop soon of a view from a hotel that maybe John is staying at. Thanks, John. Tony, did the guy on the EasyJet get a certificate for the Mile High Club? I don't know whether EasyJet hands them out. I don't know. But I'm not sure whether he did, but he should have got one. And as I said, he joined it without even knowing the other person. I mean, sometimes you'd expect that maybe a couple could join the Mile High Club, go into the toilets, but not somebody that you see when you're boarding the plane. And as I said, a fast worker. Or fast workers, I should say. Jonathan pointing out that in the Rio Plate area down there in the south of America, the double L sound is pronounced differently. So the instead of saying paella, you would say paella, paella. Pásame un plato de paella, por favor. What else we got going on here? What else we got going on here? Gold geologist also saying, let's be honest, while improving British cooking in general is a crime. Exceptions are the breakfast and meat pies. Well, I mentioned this, I think we mentioned this a month or so ago. I don't mind British food. In fact, I think it can be quite good. You just have to find somebody who's willing to cook it, or a restaurant that's not too expensive, and you can get some decent meals. Unfortunately, that if you go to a lot of towns around nowadays, or at least what I saw when I went to the UK the last time, a lot of cheap fast food options around the place. And I think that's what people generally turn to, and why the food can get a bad reputation, I imagine. I mean, I went to a place close to Luton, and I could only see kebab places, Indian places, Chinese places. So I couldn't find any traditional British restaurants in that part of England where I was, but I'm sure they're there. £10 super chat from Alan. Keep the great channel going, Stu. Thank you very much, Alan, for that. As I said, I appreciate the viewer support, and it does help keep the channel going, and it will help me get out and about more, which is my plan for the next month or two, to do some videos from around the country, if not from around my local area here. Let's see what I can do. But thanks, Alan. What else? Let's have a look here. Fast workers made Amanda work. Well, fast workers, it's an understatement. I mean, it's a record time. The flight's only 2 hours. They hooked up boarding the plane, and they were straight into it on the plane. If that's not fast working, I don't know what is. And John, Arguelles. It's a difficult word to pronounce because you've got that little U with the two little dots over the top of it there as well, plus that double L sound, which here in Spain is Arguelles. In Argentina and Uruguay, it would be Arguelles. So that's a bit different. But not staying at the hotel, but it has an outstanding rooftop view. Oh, there we go. So John obviously went up, checked out the views from that hotel, which has views of the Plaza España area, and I suppose if you're on the other side of Madrid as well. But these rooftop venues, I should say, are very popular nowadays in Madrid. Pauline saying, nice background picture. Would that be the Alhambra? No Alhambra there. This is Alicante, so not Granada, but thanks, Pauline, for that. Now, I'm at the end of the chat. One more here, just quickly. Or two more, sorry. That's interesting to hear of how the double L is pronounced in Uruguay, similar to how Brazilians change Portuguese pronunciation. Cidade becomes cidade. There we go. So different pronunciations, of course. It's similar in English, isn't it? How people all over the UK have different pronunciations, and then you go to Ireland and the north of Ireland, it's different there. Probably someone in the south of Ireland has a different accent to somebody living on the west of coast of Ireland. In Australia, we've got a couple of different accent variations. The States has a lot, Canada. So there's lots of variations to how words are pronounced, but when it comes to Spanish, those are some of the big pronunciation differences, of course, with that eye, as it's called here. Janet also saying you need to be in someone's home to get traditional British cooking. Pop over to Oxford. Will do, Janet. Just send me your address and I'll pop over. And Angel Victor grew up in Arguelles. It's a lovely area indeed. Yeah, I worked in Arguelles for many, many years. I worked in a military school there in a street called Santa Cruz de Marcenado. If you're from Arguelles, you will know where that is, close to the Conde Duque Street. And of course, you go over the other side of Arguelles as well. You've got an interesting part of the neighbourhood as well. And as I said, I like it. little bit out of my price range nowadays. I don't think I could afford to live in Argüelles. And look, see, you've got the correct spelling there with those two little dots over the U, which is another characteristic of the Spanish language, the gue sound. So it's been a real lesson today. I'm going to wrap the live stream up. We've looked at different ways to pronounce the double L sound. We've looked at different ways to pronounce this word that I have on the screen here. So it's been an interesting chat today. I'll be back again tomorrow with another interesting chat, hopefully. Hope to see you there. Thanks to the people that have supported the channel today through those super chats. Appreciated, I will say it again. And it's been a pleasure as always. Hasta luego, hasta entonces. Adiós. Buenas noches.